Now that I have uploaded my content to Blackboard, I need to link that content to the user interface so students can access it. In this case, I will be adding content to create a lesson, so I need to be on the course content page. I want to configure the interface to keep the material organized and help structure and support student learning. An effective way to create a lesson is to place all material and learning activities for that lesson into a content folder. To add a content folder, select Build Content, and from the right column, select Content Folder. It is a good practice not just to name the folder, but to provide some information to the users about what they can expect to find in the folder. If you want, you can configure the standard options regarding availability and tracking. In this case, I am not changing the default selections. To create the content folder, click Submit. Blackboard adds the folder to the bottom of the page. Move it to the correct position by dragging and dropping the double-headed arrow beside the folder name. You can also reposition your items by selecting the double-headed arrow in the right-hand corner of the menu bar towards the top of the page. Select the item you wish to reposition. Use the arrows to move the item, and then click Submit. A notification will appear to confirm that your item has been repositioned. Next, open the folder to add content. I am going to link to a PDF document that I have uploaded to the content collection. Again, select Build Content. Although I could use the File option, a better choice is to create an item. The File option only creates a link to the file with no description or instructions. In contrast, the item allows you to link to the file and to provide additional information and instructions. Include a name for your item and a description. There are two ways to link to a file from an item. First, within the content editor, you can use the Add Content link on the toolbar. To do this, type the text for the description and then click Add Content. Then follow the steps to browse and select the file. This option displays the link directly below the text. You can also use the Browse buttons in the Attachments section below the content editor. This will create a link to the file directly above the item. In some ways, this second option is an easier way to add or delete files to the item. It will also let me add multiple files as attachments if I wish. Since it is more flexible than the Add Content option, I will use it. Select Browse Content Collection to navigate to the file. Select the file and click Submit. By default, the link title displayed to students will be the name of the file. However, you should change the name to something more descriptive. If you need to delete this link or any other link that you may have created here, select the Do Not Attach option. If necessary, set the standard options and click Submit. The link to your file is displayed along with your directions and description. Since we are creating a lesson in this folder, we will also want to add components such as an overview and learning outcomes. These can be added by using the Create Item option we just saw. Again, we may need to drag and drop the item in the correct order within the lesson. And we would also use the Create Item option to create instructions for the lesson. You can also add links to web pages using the Web Link option. For accuracy, be sure to copy and paste the URL for the web page. For web links, Blackboard allows you to provide a name along with a description. Links should always be configured to open the page or item in a new window. Again, configure the standard options if necessary, then click Submit. As mentioned earlier in this tutorial, an effective way to create a lesson is to place all material and learning activities for that lesson into a content folder. This means that you have the option to include assignments and tests within the content folder as well. To create a test or assignment, you will use the Assessments option from the menu. You can also create a link to your discussion boards by selecting the Tools option from the menu, then clicking on Discussion Board. You will have the option to either create a new discussion board or link to an existing discussion board. You can also house your assignments under the Assignments menu option on the left-hand menu, and you can house your tests under the Tests menu option on the left-hand menu. If you choose this option, it is helpful to include in the unit instructions directions for the students to find the assignments and tests. Additional tutorials will cover these options in more detail. Ultimately, your goal is to provide students with a well-organized lesson that begins with a statement of learning outcomes and instructions and ends with some type of assessment of their learning.